Invisible, increasing academic engagement for students of color through culturally caring teacher pedagogies.
From its inception, the American public education system has been a white middle class enterprise. It is through this lens of whiteness that mainstream educational criteria is created, and thus all students are assessed against it. Students of color, as they continue to be assessed against this white criteria, find themselves feeling marginalized, voiceless, invisible, deficient, and lacking social capital. Teachers' lack of caring about students and their cultures exacerbates the marginalization of students of color and contributes to their disengagement from the project of schooling. In the case of Latinx and Black students, such disengagement results in significantly higher dropout rates than those of white students.
According to this chapter in Valenzuela's book about subtractive schooling and U.S. Mexican youth, schooling in the curriculum subtract Mexican American youth's identity by one, simultaneously failing to recognize their biculturalism while denying them the chance to develop their bilingual and bicultural skills and identities through the curriculum. Two, through persistent institutional relegation of the youth to the non honors track. This de-Mexicanization results in a loss of social capital and disidentification with other Mexican immigrant youth who are more academically oriented. The lack of authentic caring from teachers, rooted in the Spanish concept of educación, alienates Mexican American youth even further. The white normative project of schooling, including teachers' lack of caring about them and their culture, threatens students' ethnic identity and causes them to disengage from schooling. In a related study by Liu, Korean American youth of a low socioeconomic status who have dropped out of high school in New York City do so because of a lack of social capital enjoyed by middle class Korean American youth. The youth's decision to drop out of school is caused by 1. Lack of social capital at home and in their communities, 2. High parental expectations of academic success coupled with lack of parental resources to support the youth's success, 3. Ineffective learning environments and uncaring teachers. The Korean American youth resist through an oppositional cultural framework, distancing themselves from whiteness that they associate with academically oriented and more affluent Korean American students. Dropping out of school to work is an active resistance to the institutional barriers at home, school, and in their communities.
Milner, Pabon, Woodson, and McGee, in their study on black male students, find similar themes. Black male students face specific challenges when it comes to navigating the U.S. public school system and are among the most vulnerable students in the public education system. At the center of these challenges lies the notion that teachers' prior beliefs and experiences affect the way that the teachers shape the way students learn in their classrooms. Research suggests that teachers must be more aware of the racial and cultural backgrounds of their students in order to address their specific needs in school. Quote, the maintenance of a mostly white teaching populace requires engagement of both intellectual understanding of inequities that impact black male students, as well as transformative self-reflections that lead to a change in critical consciousness, end quote. There are a few themes that run through all of these studies. First, the voices of the students of color in these articles speak to a lack of engagement in school. In some cases, this lack of engagement raises to the level of dropping out of school entirely. This lack of engagement is largely the result of 1. A lack of the type of social capital necessary to achieve success in white normative public school institutions, and 2. A lack of meaningful relationships with caring teachers who value them and their cultures. The students express that their teachers do not care about them or their backgrounds. The teachers' apathy regarding learning about their students' socio-cultural experiences is at the core of their inability to create meaningful relationships with them.
Considering this research, we advocate for teachers rooting themselves in theoretical discourse that speaks to the intricate ways in which a student's race, ethnicity, and culture affects the degree to which the student can navigate the U.S. public education system. Teachers must use this informed knowledge to gain an understanding of their students, to aid in the creation of meaningful relationships, and to foster a school environment that students experience as having a space for them. We advocate for teachers to use humanizing literacies which help transform unjust social conditions. We suggest that autoethnography is a humanizing literacy whereby students are required to read and write counter stories as an empowering means towards critical social thought. These counter stories help to combat the mainstream white narrative that constructs students of color as intellectually and culturally inferior. The use of autoethnographies allows teachers to build meaningful relationships with their students that will result in an increase in academic engagement for students of color.